everyone, it's Liddy and welcome back to my channel. So I have been on a bit of a hiatus, so it's been a while, but I'm back with a whole video and I have a lot of exciting things to share with you. I have been on a little bit of a content creation rut, so that's why there hasn't been any videos for the past month, but thank you as always for sticking around and supporting my channel. And yeah, I really appreciate it even during these kind of down times that I have where I don't film a lot or I haven't been able to produce any videos. I still appreciate you guys sticking around and following me. So yeah, hopefully I can bring about some more videos now that I'm feeling a little bit myself, but yes, we will see. You know how these things go, especially with work getting quite busy, and then I was doing a lot of other things and I haven't had much time for reading. So then obviously because I'm not reading, I'm not really in that space for manga, but I have a bunch of stuff that I want to share with you today that I have accumulated over the previous few months that I never actually hauled or filmed hauling, so I want to do that today. And there is a lot of light novels in this haul. Once again, if you saw one of my previous videos where I kind of fell in that like light novel hole, I am still in there, but I do have some manga to share with you today. And I also have a few packages that I got recently that I also want to unbox with you. So we're going to open packages first, then I'm going to go into some of the manga that I got, and then we'll go into the light novels at the end for those who are actually interested in light novel stuff. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started because I have over 50 plus volumes in here, I think. So yeah, let's get going. So the first one I have is a package from Geeky. So Geeky, obviously she works at one of the Forbidden Planets International, and she showed us her sales section and was like, hey guys, is there anything in the sales section that you want so we can like get rid of them? And the sales section obviously is like 25% off the retail price, and then you can do a 3 for 2 with that. And I saw a few things in there and I was like, yes, can I please have that? So thank you so much Forbidden Planet International Brighton, and thank you so much Geeky for sending over these volumes. And let's open it. All right, so here is the box opened and we can already see some of the stuff. So we've got, all right, so the first volume in the package is Kimono Jihen volume 15, and then we also have volume 16 and also volume 10. So I actually have not started reading my volumes of this series, which is as always the case with me, and I'm just like, it's cheap so I'll buy it, and that is the case with this one. But this one is actually quite a series, like a shonen series that I don't actually hear a lot of people talking about, but when I do hear people talking about it, they do say that it's really good. So I feel like that's quite a great indicator of, you know, how like good it is, because if I don't hear much about it, but then if I do hear someone say something about it, they say like it's a good thing, then I feel like that's a good sign. But this was reduced to £9.74 retail, and then obviously with a 3 for 2 makes it a whole lot cheaper. But I love these covers. They're like super colorful and pretty, and the character designs look really cool, so I'm excited to try it. And Kix on the Dudettes Discord recently actually started reading this series and said that she enjoyed it surprisingly a lot more than she thought she would, so that is also a good sign. So yeah, here we go, Kimono Jihen 10, 15 and 16. And the next volumes I got was If My Favorite Idol Made It to the Budokan, I Would Die volume 9. I got volume 8, and then I also got volume 7. And this one is I guess about idol culture in Japan. And idol culture is like a really big thing in Japan, where like girls form groups and then they become idols and they do like idol shows and idol fan meets and things like that, and then people have their own bias. And there is one girl that has the peach color within this idol group, and she is like the least popular idol, but then there is one girl who is like a huge fan of her, and then she goes to her fan meets and stuff every time and buys all her CDs and buys her like handshake events and things like that, and she's obsessed with her basically. And the girl who is the idol, who's the salmon pink idol, she secretly has a crush on that girl fan. So it has like a little bit of Yuri elements to it. I've only read the first 2 volumes, I think, and I haven't really gotten that far into it, but I did like the exploration of the idol culture there as well. So that was really interesting. And these are very expensive considering they're quite thin, because they're Tokyo Pop volumes. They're like $13.99, which is very expensive. So when I saw it on for sale, this one's $9.74 and $10.49, and with the 3 for 2 makes it a lot cheaper. And I think this series is not very popular, so I can understand why it's probably going on sale, but it's got a bit of Yuri, so I'm gonna grab it, of course. And the last 3 is another Yuri series that I recently picked up, haven't read yet, but it's Assorted Entanglements Volume 3, Volume 4, and Volume 5. So I picked up Volume 1 and 2, I think, during the Birmingham trip. I think you might have seen it if you watched my Birmingham video and haul, but I purchased 2 volumes to try, or I think I purchased 1 volume, I don't remember, but I purchased some volumes to try, and of course they were on sale, so I grabbed them. And these ones were a little bit more cheaper. They're $8.24 reduced, and then with 3 for 2, very great value. So, and this one, I think it focuses on different couples. I don't know if it's different couples in each volume, but it kind of looks like it is, because this couple, they all look different. But I think it follows, like, it's the same world, but then follows different couples in that place. But yeah, I'm not sure, but I got 3, 4, and 5, and so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 now, so I can read them all in one go. And if I didn't say, it's a Yuri series, so obviously I got it. But yeah, that was everything I got from Forbidden Planet International Brighton. Thank you again, Geeky, and the people and the staff there for packing and sending my order. And then I got one Blackwell's parcel that I haven't opened yet, so let's open it up. And I think I know what it is, but it's been a while. Yeah, so I got Nina the Starry Bride Volume 11. I really enjoyed this shoujo series. I'm up to Volume 7, and I am surprised that it's already up to Volume 11, to be fair. And a lot of people love this main character here. Well, he's one of the male leads in this series, and I can tell aesthetically why people love him. But when he was first introduced in the story, he was pretty damn unlikable. And maybe it's one of those things where it's like, as the story goes along, he kind of redeems himself and then you start to like him. But personally, I really liked the other male lead, that the male, so Nina is like one of the male leads for Nina, basically. But we shall see. Maybe my mind will change. I kind of hope it doesn't, because I really do like Azure. So, but yes, this is Volume 11. If you're looking for a fun, I guess, fantasy shoujo series with a little bit of political elements to it, and a kind of a protagonist who is slightly weak but then kind of grows into herself and becomes a lot more strong-willed, then you might like this. I guess they're mainly kind of reminiscent a little bit of Yona, because Yona at the start kind of is a shut-in, very pampered princess, but then she learns to become quite strong after the events that happen in the beginning of the story. So kind of reminiscent there in terms of the growth of the characters. So yeah, but this does have that kind of element, political element, and also romance. So yeah. And the next package that I want to open is from Caitlin. She went to the Birmingham sale. They were doing like a huge clear out of their manga in this store, and they were doing a bunch of sales. And I think they had like 4, 5, I don't know, but tons of shelves of sale manga, because they were pretty much being very ruthless about the choices they make in their sale. So they got rid of a bunch of stuff, and Caitlin was really kind enough to share with us what was in the sale section, and then she said that she'd pick them up for us. And God, if you go watch her whole video, oh my gosh, she picked up a ton of stuff. So I am so surprised that she was able to carry that all by herself. So huge shout out to Caitlin for, you know, carrying her own manga. I think she bought like 80 volumes and then helping me and Kiggs get some volumes as well. But like, It's crazy. How did she carry 80 volumes? I have no idea. But anyways, let's get into this. Thank you so much, Caitlin. But this one is one series that I actually recently started collecting because I saw it and it looked really fun. Yep, and it is Otherworldly Izakaya Nobu, and this one is like a izakaya series where it focuses on an izakaya, and I think people portal into this world, into this like otherworldly izakaya, as the title suggests, and they eat lots of food. And so I thought that was really fun, especially because I do like food manga, and Caitlin was saying how it's really nice and quite wholesome. So, and they obviously like there's food stuff that happens, and loads of people from different worlds end up stumbling into this Japanese izakaya and trying all the food. And izakayas, I guess, like, how would you call it? An equivalent? It's kind of more like a restaurant pubby type or bar. I would say more like a bar, but it's more casual than a bar. So kind of like a pub, like a slash between a pub and a bar. Kind of like that. But you eat loads of like really like kind of bits of food. There's also like full meals that you can eat, but then you have it with a drink and things like that. So yeah, really cool. And I got 3, 6, and 9. And you'll see in the other haul, not other haul, but you'll see in this haul that I picked up some of the earlier volumes on World of Books. So yeah, thank you so much, Caitlin, as always. Yay! Alright, I got one more package that I got on eBay. Let's open it. I think this is a light novel. Yes, it is. So I finally found the first volume of Other Side Picnic in stock, and this was around £14, and it is, yes, expensive, but these volumes are really hard to find and quite expensive in general because it's J Novel Club. I think they're reprinting this series, but the rest of the volumes are pretty difficult to find at the moment. So I have 1 and 2, and I actually started reading the manga version of this a while back, but I didn't really love it. And a lot of people said that the light novel was a lot better. And I think that kind of happens in general, where light novels obviously give you a lot better story and a little bit more depth into like the world building and the characterizations and things like that. So I didn't love the manga that much, so I'm hoping that maybe this is something that I will enjoy in a light novel format, especially being a little bit more atmospheric. And also I really want to get into the series because it is a Yuri horror, and I find that stuff like that is a little bit more rare, so I want to get into it and support it if I can. So yeah, that is Other Side Picnic Omnibus Volume 1. So yeah, really excited about that. Alright, I don't actually know if I shared this or not, but I'm gonna share it again, and if I haven't shared it then good. But Inklore actually sent over some copies for me to review, and I am really grateful for them to send over some stuff, so thank you so much, Inklore. But I got a early release of The Broken Ring, This Marriage Will Fail Me Anyway. I don't actually know if this is an early release anymore because it's been a while since I received this, and obviously I never filmed the haul, so this might be out already and I still haven't read it. Oops, sorry. But this is a manhwa series by Inklore, and of course it looks great, and yeah, don't know what it's about, but it's probably a romance. And then they sent me 2 volumes of Father, I Don't Want This Marriage, Volume 4 and Volume 5. And I actually had Volume 4, so I sold my copy that I bought and just gonna keep the one that Inklore sent me. So yeah, I have Volume 4 and Volume 5. I haven't read my first volume still, but a lot of people say it's really good and the covers are stunning. The only thing I find really weird about this is that the title, Father, is so big, so when you look at it, all you see is like father and marriage, and it just sounds really weird in my opinion. And yeah, I think the original the original Korean translation of it is a little bit different and it sounds a little bit better, but I'll put whatever it is in the screen, but I think that one sounds better. But yeah, it's just a bit weird how like father is so big. I don't know why they had to make father so big. I don't know. But yes, those are the 3 that Inklore sent me. Thank you so much, Inklore, for sending over these volumes. All right, now into the manga that I bought that I've already unboxed. Let me show you everything that I got. So most of these were from Blackwell's, very cheap volumes, come up here and there for like $6.99 when they're usually like retail at $12.99, $13.99. So obviously I jump on those deals, and I managed to find X-Idol Story Volume 2 for around $6.99, and this was a volume that I really actually enjoyed. And it is another idol story series, and it focuses on one girl who is a kind of retired idol. She kind of stopped doing it, and then this other girl who is an aspiring idol, and that idol actually really looked up to the previous idol, the one that's retired, and then they end up meeting together and kind of inspiring each other again. And the retired idol ends up trying to enter a competition in which they are seeking like the best idol in Japan, and they both sign up to do that, and that's kind of the journey. And so it kind of apparently has a Yuri element to it, which I am kind of seeing. Only mostly it's I guess like a friendship at first. I haven't seen it develop any further, but I really enjoyed volume 1, so yeah, I got volume 2. Okay, so I also went to Forbidden Planet one time. I don't remember when, but I went and I actually ended up purchasing 1 volume, I think, with a 3 for 2 with my husband. I don't actually know if I've hauled this yet, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. I have like a fish brain memory right now, mainly because it's been so long since I filmed. But we have volume 15 of The King's Beast, no, volume 16, sorry. And I think this one is the latest volume that has come out. I think this series has now finished, and they're bringing out a exclusive variant cover for the last volume, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this series is fun, and not anything amazing in my opinion, but a fun fantasy shoujo series. And then I got 3 volumes of one series because it was really cheap on Blackwell's. I got volume 4 of Tokyo Babylon, and I got volume 6, and then also volume 7. So these were on sale for like £6.99 on Blackwell's, which is really cheap. So definitely make sure you're checking out Blackwell's if you're in the UK for those juicy deals on manga. But yeah, I recently read, not recently, but I read this in my the most recent volume 1 try vlog, and I enjoyed the supernatural elements of the series, but there was a little bit of a sus relationship dynamic. So, and you know, if you've ever read any clamp titles, you're kind of used to that kind of thing popping up. So if you're a fan of clamp, then you probably understand. But yeah, because I really like clamp stuff and their artwork, and their stories are very interesting, so I'll continue collecting this one as a clamp collector. And then the series that I talked about earlier, where I got a bunch of volumes online, I got volume 1 of Nobu Otherworld Izakaya Nobu on eBay for very cheap, and then I also ended up finding a bunch of the volumes in between for really good prices on World of Books. And it's at the volume 2. I got volume 4, volume 5, and then I got volume 10. And I got volume 10 over here. So yeah, lots of cool stuff in this haul already. Excited to read that series. I realized I missed one more Blackwell's parcel because clearly I am totally out of it when it comes to manga these days. But here we go. We've got one more Blackwell's parcels, and it is... Oh, okay. So we got volume 8 of the Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. And I really like this color scheme, the yellow with the gray. I really like. But this one is an ongoing shonen romance series that is pretty popular, and I did really enjoy the first volume. There is currently an anime of this out, so if you're interested in maybe trying this series, check out the anime. I heard the animation is done really well. I personally haven't watched it yet, but hopefully we'll get into it soon. But I do want to read the manga version of it before I dive into the anime. And I got some volumes of manga and manhwa from Ice Press and Yen Press, and they sent me Marriage of Convenience. I kind of bent the front cover a bit, so that's not their fault, but that was me. But this one is a new manhwa series. I don't actually know if it's out yet because I got this package a while ago and obviously never had a chance to film. But this one looked really pretty. Like, look at the art style, full color as always for a manhwa series. So excited for this one. And they also sent me this one, which is Rock is a Lady's Modesty. This one looks like a fun music manga, so that will be really interesting. I've not actually heard anyone talk about this one or recommend this or mention this, so really intrigued to see what it's about. And then we also have I Don't Know How to Love. I think this one is a BL series, so we'll see. It's not plastic wrap, so there will be nothing spicy, so I'm not sure if I can pass this on to Kix because she probably won't be interested in it. But yeah, we'll see if I enjoy it or read it. But it just looks like a very cute, fluffy BL series, really. And that's it. So yeah, thank you so much, Yen Press and Ice Press, for sending over these volumes, as always. Okay, that was actually all the manga that I've gotten for this haul. And now I'm going to move on to all my light novels. And this one is going to be kind of a crazy one because I pretty much accumulated a whole bunch of volumes of one light novel. So yeah, let me show you. Alright, as you can see from this very interesting angle, I've got a whole bunch of Ascendance of a Bookworm, and I actually got a whole 16 volumes of this series pretty much in the span of like a month, which is kind of insane. But I did find a bunch of them on sale. So a lot of them I found out popping up on Sci-Fi daily deals, and then I also found a bunch on World of Books, which is really insane. And then I did do a small order of the first few volumes because I pretty much only found like part 5s in the sales area, and so I wanted, you know, the earlier volumes, so I got them on Sci-Fi. And I even found some used ones on Amazon, and they were described as like acceptable, but they came quite great condition, so I was really happy about that. So yeah, I went a bit crazy, but let me show you all the volumes I got. So we've got part 1 volume 1, part 1 volume 2, part 1 volume 3, and then it jumps to part 3 volume 1, part 3 volume 2, part 3 volume 3, part 3 volume 4, part 3 volume 5, part 4 volume 4, part 4 volume 1, part 4 volume 2, part 4 volume 4, part 4 volume 7, part 5 volume 2, part 5 volume 3, part 5 volume 4, and part 5 volume 7. So yeah, that's a lot of Ascendance of a Bookworm. But when I was in my light novel really deep into that hole, this was the #1 recommended light novel to get. And yes, I am crazy for getting 16 volumes of a series I have not read yet, but that's just what happens when you hyperfixate on stuff. Well, personally for me anyways, but I got a lot of them on at a really good price, like under, sometimes it was like £6.50, sometimes £7, which is pretty great for J-Nova Club volumes, so I'm not mad about it. But I definitely need to start reading these and see what all the hype is about. But yeah, this is about a girl who is obsessed with books. She loves books. She goes everywhere with a book. You never see her without one. She literally has like a tower, a mountain of books, and that's just so relatable. And one day she actually ends up getting crushed by the one thing that she loves, which is books. And then she gets isekai'd into this other world where she's quite a young girl. Like, I guess like maybe, is she like a baby? I don't know, but I think she's quite young, maybe like a toddler or something. And then she gets isekai'd into a world where there is no books. Like, books just don't exist, which is heartbreaking, obviously, because that's the one thing she loved when she was in her human in her other world. And so she tries to set on this journey to find and create books. And I think it basically is a story of her becoming a librarian. So yeah, and I heard it's amazing and it's just people's #1 light novel for a reason. So I had to get it. And I'm really glad that I have a bunch of volumes that I can start binging. And another series that I recently got a bunch of, which I wasn't planning to, but it just ended up happening. And I got a bunch of Wandering Witch. Let me show you the volumes. So I got volume 1, which I am currently reading at the moment. And then volume 2, volume 3, volume 9. These are so out of order. Volume 10. Volume 11, and look at the price of this one. And then I got volume 12 and volume 13 and then volume 14. So 2 of the volumes I got actually in the Forbidden Planet London, and it was in the sale sections. And obviously because it was $1.99 the other volume and this one was $5.99, I ended up just picking them up even though they were so far out into the story. And that kind of led me into trying to look for the earlier volumes, and then I ended up finding a bunch of them on sale on Vinted for very, very cheap. I think I got 4 volumes for like £12, which is really good. And then I obviously bought like the first volume on Sci-Fi so that I could actually start the series. So that's why there's like a huge jump between like the first 2 volumes and then suddenly it goes to volume 9 because I got them out of order because some of them were just so cheap. But I've heard this being compared to Kino's Journey a lot. And as you know, I love Kino's Journey, but the light novels are not licensed. It's really sad because Tokyopop actually, like ages ago when they were first around, licensed the light novel and then they went bust. So obviously the licensing to get Kino's Journey went absurdly expensive because I think the author didn't want anyone to actually get that license anymore because of what Tokyopop did to them. So we don't know if it will ever come into the UK market or the Western market ever. So to make up for that, I decided to try Wandering Witch because a lot of people said it was similar, had like similar vibes. But from what I'm reading, it definitely does kind of have that kind of eeriness to it that is very similar to Kino's Journey, where Elena, the witch, ends up traveling to different countries. She wanders around basically, as the title suggests, and discovers things about the country. And sometimes things are a little bit eerie and a little bit strange. So that's why it gives it a little bit more of an interesting element to it, because she's not just like it's not just a traveling story where she goes around and helps people and blah blah. She's actually not an amazing or nice person. She doesn't go out of her way to try and, bother herself to help others. She rather just, do things, sees things and then get out of there. But she does run into some interesting people and some interesting countries. And so far it's been fun to read, but I did end up getting in a reading slump, so I haven't finished the first volume. But I am excited to continue this and we'll see how it goes on for further volumes, because I feel like if you're traveling to each country and then there's like 14 volumes, wouldn't you like run out of ideas of interesting places to actually write about? But who knows. So yeah, that was Wandering Witch. And then I got 2 volumes of Irina the Vampire Cosmonaut. I got volume 3 from Waterstones because I had a gift card, and then I bought volume 2 from Sci-Fi, I think. But I really enjoyed volume 1 actually a lot more than I imagined, so I definitely wanted to continue this series. And it basically focuses on a vampire called Irina, and I talk about this series in one of my London shopping videos. I'll link it somewhere down below if you want to see my thoughts about the first volume. And some more stuff I actually found on sale in London was The Princess of Convenient Plot Devices. This one is $1.99. I actually only have volume 1 and 2 that I bought ages ago from Geeky, but I saw the 5th volume for this cheap, so I had to pick it up. But I have not read the manga and I have not read the light novel yet, but I think it's about a a lady who ends up getting transported into a BL novel, but I'm not sure if that is correct. And then another cheap one I got from the Forbidden Planet is Your Former Volume 3 for $1.99. So cheap, so happy. And I actually finished the first volume of this series and it was really interesting and I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to see what happens next. And I also got Volume 2 to read as well, and I think I got this in one of my sci-fi orders because I really enjoyed the first volume. If this story focuses on an investigator called Echika, and there is like a system in which you can kind of brain dive into people's minds and then you can kind of see some things about like what they've been going through and their feelings and thoughts and try to figure out if there is any clues to solve like this mystery. And she's really good at doing that, and so she's one of like the top investigators, but she ends up basically teaming up with these like machine like AI intelligence that look like humans, and they live amongst humans, and they kind of do different like jobs, but she runs into one that ends up becoming her partner, and she is kind of anti machines. She like, I think they call it amicus or something, but she's anti one of those, but then she ends up having to team up with them and starts to get close to him. And I feel like there's an inkling of romance going on, but it's definitely more like a mystery, which is really interesting. They're solving mysteries and things like that. And yeah, I really enjoyed it, the first volume, so excited to continue this one. And this was recommended to me by Bean Queenie, so yeah, thank you so much. And another recommendation by Bean Queenie is Runehild, the Dragon Slayer, and I got the second one for $7.99 in the Forbidden Planet as well, so that was really cool. I got the first one also for like £6.99 on World of Books, which was super cheap, and these are really like small cute hardcover editions, which is really nice. But I think there's like 4 volumes. I think there's the 4th one coming out soon, but Bean Queenie said that it was one of her favorites, so I obviously had to get it, and for such good bargains, couldn't pass it up. But this looks sick, like the cover and the Dragon Slayer just seems like such a cool concept from the art style. So like, look at that, it looks so pretty. So I'm very interested to see what goes on in this one. And then the next series that I got was So I'm a Spider, So What, 10, 11, and 12. And I saw these pop up on, I think, We Buy Books and then also World of Books for very cheap. They were like £4 or £5, which is super cheap for these. So I grabbed them, and yes, that's volume 10. I really like volume 10's cover. It looks very cool. And then we got volume 11 and then volume 12. Another very popular isekai and also a very popular light novel series in general. It's basically about a girl who gets isekai'd as a spider, and spiders are one of the weakest, I guess, links in this supernatural world, but she tries her best to survive and level up, etc. And I think her whole class actually gets isekai'd as well, and they all become isekai'd into like different things. So yeah. All right, and then the next one we have is Victoria of Many Faces, volume 1. And I actually hold this before because the Empress sent me a free copy of it, but I ended up giving that away to someone, but then I ended up purchasing it again because I fell back into my light novel phase. So yeah, that's a silly story, but I found this quite cheap on Sci-Fi's used section, so I just nabbed it whilst I was making some other purchases. But I've heard some really good things about it, and it's about a female assassin who's trying to live a quiet life, and I kind of liked that concept. So theoretically, I should have kept the volume that I got from Yempress, but it's okay, I got it now. And then I got The Executioner and Her Way of Life, volume 1. This one apparently has a little bit of Yuri element to it, so that's why I was really interested in it. But it focuses on a girl who is in this world, and she's in a world where a lot of people get isekai'd into. So for instance, like a hero will be reborn into their world, but then she has to execute a bunch of them to kind of not upset the balance within that world. And yeah, it sounded really interesting, and there was a lot of like controversy over this series when the anime came out, because I think there was a character that at the start gets isekai'd into her world and then she ends up executing him, and people were pretty mad about it because they thought it was gonna be a story about that guy, but it's not. It's a story of her. So I mean, it says it in the title, so I'm surprised that they thought that it was gonna be about the male protagonist being the MC. But anyways, that definitely made me more interested in it because it sounded really funny. But yeah, I got this one. And then we got Raven of the Inner Palace volume 6. Found the volume for really cheap on Vinted, so nabbed it. This one has like a historical Chinese inspired setting to it, which I really love. So yeah, interested in this one. And then I got 3 volumes of The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady, and I got these on Amazon for really cheap. You might have seen my reel on it. I actually think that one got taken down mainly because it had like copyright music, which was pretty annoying. But I got these on Amazon used, and they were in like acceptable condition, but they came really nicely. So I got volume 2, volume 6 and volume 8. So yeah, they have like a little bit of scuffs here, nothing too bad considering it's acceptable. So yeah, and I read the first volume and it was really cute, so I am definitely excited to continue this one. And it focuses on a girl who gets reincarnated into a world that magic exists, but she is literally the only one who cannot wield magic, but she loves magic so much, so she uses kind of her intelligence and I guess knowledge from the future, not future, but from her world, to create contraptions that can be used to help wield magic. And then she gets an assistant, this girl, because her brother was actually her fiance, but then her brother broke off the engagement and now she becomes an assistant to this girl. So yeah, but it was a fun, interesting ride and I really liked it. And another one I got for really cheap, I saw it on We Buy Books for very cheap. I think it was like £4 as well. But volume 7 of I'm the Villainess, I'm Taming the Final Boss. Really enjoyed the anime, really enjoyed the manga, so I got the light novels now to read it. And I think I only have volume 1 to 3, but I saw volume 7 for cheap, so I picked it up. And then one that I'm really excited about actually is The Accomplishments of the Duke's Daughter. And I actually read the manga version of this, the first volume, and I really liked it. Like, I was surprised how much I really enjoyed it, and so I immediately went to see if I could find the light novels for it, and I found 1, 2 and 3 for super cheap on Water Books, so I nabbed them and I am actually really excited to read this. So I'm hoping after I finish Wondering Which, I'll get into this one, but I have so many now to read. I think I bought too much, so now I'm like conflicted at which one I want to read first. Oh my god, the problems of being a collector and also a lover of reading. You want to collect everything, you want to read everything, but you just can't. So yeah, but really liked this one. And then 2 volumes I got on Vinted for really cheap. I got 2 of these for £10. The seller was really nice, and it was like £12, and then I asked her if I could get it for 10, and she was like yes, because she actually had bought from my Vinted before, so that was really sweet of them. But I got volume 1 and volume 2 of I Swear I Won't Bother You Again, and this one also has a manga, and I do have the manga but I haven't read it yet. But I heard obviously the light novel is better, like you know the drill, so I grabbed these 2, and £10 for 2 light novels is super great, super cheap. Love that. And another new one I got was The Holy Grail of Eris. Heard lots of really fun things about this one, and I heard it has like a lot of mystery intrigue, and I do love a good mystery novel, so picked this one up. I find like her boobs are like massive in this though, like what is that about? But I hear it's like very good, so interested for this one. Let me know if you've read this one. And then I also got volume 3 and volume 4 of The Case File of Julia Richard in the light novel format. I really enjoyed the manga. I still need to read it, but I found these both for really cheap. I can't find volume 4 right now. I don't know where it's gone. My room is just not organized right now. Since I haven't been doing a lot of manga content, my manga has just been sitting everywhere and not properly placed, so I definitely need to do a little bit of a reorganization. But yeah, I can't find volume 4, but I got 3 and 4 of this one. Wait, I found volume 4, so I got 3 and 4 here. Yeah, nice. So the last one I have is the condemned villainess goes back in time and aims to become the ultimate villain. This one was one that I really enjoyed in the manga format. So obviously I had to get the light novels to explore more of the story and the characters, etc. So yeah, and this one I got on Blackwells for very good price, very cheap. So excited to own this and have this in my collection. So yes, that was everything that I got in my haul today. I'll probably show you a picture of when I've piled it all high, or like I'll insert the video for that, because oh my gosh, it's gonna be crazy. And the weather is getting really dry, really down and gloomy right now, and also it's getting darker, so I have to wrap up filming. But thank you so much for supporting me in my videos. I hope you enjoyed this haul, this really big haul for my video to come back into YouTube. But let me know down below if there was any series that you're interested in or that you're currently reading that you'd recommend. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.